Welcome back. Today, we're jumping right into a report that tells a fascinating story about a massive change coming for one of the world's great cities, Tehran. And this future is coming way faster than you might think. It all starts with one single, absolutely staggering number. Take a look at this. Over 3 million. Now, this isn't some abstract financial figure. This is the projected number of people over the age of 65 who will be living in Tehran by the year 2051. That's not a small shift. That's a demographic wave. You could even call it a silver tsunami, and it's set to completely reshape the city. Which, of course, brings us to the million-dollar question, the one this entire report is trying to answer. Is Tehran ready? It's a really simple question on the surface, but the answer is incredibly complex. And to even start to figure it out, we've got to look at where the city stands right now. So, what's the best way to get a pulse on the city? Well, you ask the people who live there. Researchers did exactly that. They surveyed current senior residents, basically creating a report card for how age-friendly Tehran is today. And the results, well, they're pretty revealing. The difference here is just, wow. On the one hand, seniors gave their highest marks to housing, scoring it a pretty respectable 71.4. That's great. But look at the other end of the scale. Communication and information gets a shockingly low 34.4. So what does that tell us? It says that while people might feel safe and sound in their homes, actually getting essential information or accessing services is a huge, huge struggle. That's a massive gap. So to really get ready for the future, you have to understand what's happening in the present, right? The report dug into the powerful forces, the drivers that are making this demographic shift happen so quickly. And these aren't just abstract trends. They're real-world factors affecting millions of lives every day. You can almost think of these drivers as ingredients in a recipe. First, you have falling birth rates, fewer young people. Then, you stir in the rise of more modern, individualistic lifestyles. You add a big dose of economic pressure, which of course affects family sizes. And then, you top it all off with the fact that people are living longer and longer thanks to better healthcare. You put all that together, and you've got the perfect storm for a rapidly aging population. Now, with all these powerful forces at play, the report doesn't just say, here's what's going to happen. No. Instead, it lays out two very distinct paths for what Tehran could look like in 2051. It's like the city is standing at a fork in the road. So path number one is the semi-critical scenario. This is a future where things get worse, social services are completely overwhelmed, and life for seniors gets a lot harder. Then there's path number two, the drifting status quo. In this version, the city doesn't collapse overnight, but it also fails to make any real changes. It just drifts. And where does it drift? Right towards that same critical outcome. The message here is incredibly clear. Doing nothing is still a choice, and it's a choice that leads somewhere you don't want to go. But okay, this report isn't just about sounding the alarm. It actually offers a blueprint for how to handle this. It presents a pretty optimistic vision for how Tehran can not only manage this change, but actually use it to become a better city. And it's all based on a clear two-part strategy. And this really sums up the whole idea perfectly. The solution has two main pillars. First, you empower the individuals themselves with the tools they need to live full, active lives. And second, you adapt the physical city, the environment, to meet their needs. You see, it's about both the person and the place. Let's dig into that first part of the strategy. It's all built around this really important concept called active aging. And this is about so much more than just healthcare. It's a whole policy focused on giving older adults the power to maintain their autonomy and their quality of life. The goal is to keep them integrated, active, and valued, not isolated on the sidelines. So active aging really stands on 4 pillars. Autonomy is all about having control over your own life and choices. Independence is having the ability to manage your daily life. Quality of life is about your own personal sense of well-being. And social integration, this is a big one, is about fighting loneliness and staying connected to the community. This is that empower the people idea in action. All right, so if the first strategy is all about empowering the person, the second is about transforming the world around them. It's about taking real, concrete steps to make Tehran a truly age-friendly city. And the report gets super specific here, which is great. It calls for things like adapting public transit with clear audio and visual announcements, redesigning public spaces so they're accessible to everyone, creating new building standards for safer, more practical homes. And remember that terrible information score we saw earlier? They suggest a dedicated senior companion app to fix that. These are all real, tangible things the city can do. This quote just nails the ultimate goal, doesn't it? The vision isn't just about managing a problem. It's about creating a better city for everybody. A city where seniors are active participants, where their dignity is a priority, and where the environment is actually designed to support them. But the report makes one final, absolutely critical point. This isn't just a job for the mayor or the city council. True success can only happen if you have collaboration between the government, private companies, and local community groups all pulling in the same direction. It has to be a team effort. So this is where we're left. The research is done, the data is clear, a blueprint for a better, more inclusive, more age-friendly future for Tehran is right there on the table. The only question that's left is whether the city, its leaders, its businesses, and its people will decide to pick up those plans and build that future together.